Hey there, YouTube. Welcome back to the Maxwell Stars YouTube channel. Many may know me as the avid beer reviewer that posts a lot of reviews of maritime beers. But what many people may already know or may not know is that I'm an avid collector of vintage video game and computer systems. As such, I thought it would be a fitting episode to mark the very first episode of my new VCS Museum series with one of my very favorites and one of my very first vintage computers, the IBM Personal PC. Now, the one you see here is not a real computer. However, this bad boy is. Now, the first thing I wanted to show everybody is exactly what this computer looks like on the inside. A techie, a nerd, may like to see what exactly makes this thing tick. First of all, I'd like to explain that the IBM Personal Computer, the original, came out in around August of 1981. It was a huge success right from the get-go, and also marked really the birth of Microsoft in the common operating system marketplace. It was tough going at first, but eventually they certainly won out. This one here is not the original IBM PC, as I said. This is the one that comes with the hard drive. This is an IBM Personal Computer XT, or commonly known as just the XT, which launched in about March of 1983 worldwide, and was the very first commercially available computer, I believe, that came with a built-in hard drive. At the very least, it was IBM's first computer with a built-in hard drive. You could get a hard drive for the original PC, but the power supply in the PC had to be upgraded, and that machine only had about 5 card slots in it, so it really took up some valuable real estate if you were to put an RRL or MFM card in there and put a hard drive in the machine. It also would sacrifice one of your floppy drives, as you see here. There was also an option of an IBM 5161 expansion unit, which looked exactly like a regular PC, except for it didn't have a motherboard in it. It just had a cable that would link to a regular PC, as well as a controller card that would go in the PC, as well as just a card bus inside. Blah blah blah. Let's cut this thing short and off the cover. I've already taken the screws off. It was held on by 5 screws in the back. That over there. Let's take a closer look. One of the most important differences of the IBM PC and the IBM PC XT is the card expansion bus. This particular model used the exact same, so you can see that 8088 processor running at 4.77 megahertz. In this case, it was using an AMD-based chip, as well as I think the original PC also had a maximum of 256 megabytes of memory on the board. But one of the biggest important differences between this and the PC is that it has 8 expansion slots rather than just 5. Now, the original IBM PC had fatter slots down here, and whereas these ones here are organized a little bit more thinner. They're the same bus slot, but they're not quite spaced apart as these ones here are more closely spaced together than you would find in the original PC. And also, you can see right down there, if I can shine my light on it, you can see where the floating point unit could be installed in this machine. However, for a machine this slow, at modern times, it may not be any point. And most PCs didn't come with one anyway. Now, inside, you can see this one here is fully stocked with all the memory that it can handle, 256K. And if I can hold this up here, this little tag attached to my PC speaker says, read that, January 1985. So that's when this machine was built. So let's take a look at some of the cards that are in this machine. So when I bought this thing, I bought this in 1996. When I first got it, it was originally in use by one of the publishing companies within the city here. And when I first got it, it was pretty well stocked for original PC. However, it was full of all kinds of period-specific upgrades, and also being an IBM PC XT that was built almost 2 years after the original introduction of the IBM PC XT. It's doesn't have completely all the original components. what I mean is that it's not the original standard 10 megabyte hard drive in this machine. It's got the original floppy drive, of course, an original processor, motherboard, but there's a couple of differences, and I'll go over them with taking a look at some of the cards that are installed in this machine, either as aftermarket upgrades or as standard. So let's take a look. First, what I'm going to take a look here is you find one of these in pretty much every PC. This is the floppy drive controller. That's the size of a modern day video card. I don't know exactly who manufactured that one. It's got Intel chips on it. A nice white colored Beckman IC on there as well. It accepts your standard. I would imagine it can power a pair of them, but at the current time I've only got one original IBM 360K 5.25 floppy drive in it, which is basically all you need really to run this particular machine. Pop that in here. Where did I have this originally? It's here. Cool. The other card here, this one is a Western Digital RLL WD 1002A-27X. It's a 27 RLL card, which is like MFM. However, it used in run length limited encoding scheme, which allowed to squeeze more data onto the hard drive than it came with. Now, these had a reputation back in the 80s as being shoddy in service because of the new information density as well as the reliability of drives at the time. The original hard drive that shipped with the PC XT was a 10 megabyte Seagate 412, I think. Whereas this one comes equipped with a Seagate ST38R, which I haven't really heard a whole lot about, other than that it's about 31 megabytes in size. I've had real issues with it over the years, but it's served me well and still works today, which is quite impressive. I'll put that in a sec. Other cards that came in, this one here may have been an aftermarket upgrade, I'm not 100% sure, but it is an 8-bit serial port. 25-pin serial port, but with the use of a 25 to 9-pin adapter, you can use your standard serial mouse. So that's quite handy to have in this, particularly in this machine. One of the other cards that I got in this machine is, let's see here, over there. Now, there's been a lot of anybody who knows about computers back in the 80s or back in the original IBM era may have heard of this particular type of card. This is its graphics card, the Hercules graphics card, the original Hercules. Now, the original Hercules graphics card was designed by, I can't remember the guy's name, but the original designer of this card was upset that he couldn't study and write his thesis for university in his native Thai language, so he decided to create a graphics card that was capable of addressing all the pixels on the screen. It's something like, I can't remember the exact number, it's like 740 by 352, whereas the original IBM PC graphics card was just monochrome, it was 80 by 25 characters, and it had the same similar resolution. I think it was like 720 or 740 by whatever it is by 348. But you couldn't address the characters or the pixels independently, whereas in the Hercules you can. So with this particular card, you can do more than just have graphics. You can have with the Hercules graphics card, you can do more than just have text on the screen like you would on a normal PC. You could have graphics, and you could have games. So this was important to have, and I think that this one here is more likely to have been installed in this computer back in the day because you could have graphics and you could have CAD software on this machine. Now it's still the one color monochrome, but in a newspaper printing industry it's all you need. And for most industries you could do graphing, you could do spreadsheets quite well and all that. You even run, I think even Windows 3.0 and earlier had a Hercules graphics mode for older versions of Windows. I never got one to work on this machine though. So yeah, they're quite important in the development of graphics cards because it truly is the first real graphics card per se, and it's also about the length of an 8800 GTX, so it's just pretty damn long. And of course, the other card is one of my I don't know if I could really call it my favorite card. It's definitely necessary. but it's definitely a finicky bugger to get working at times. But it is a pure data 256K RAM expansion card. Now this card fits into your standard 8-bit bus and gives the IBM and upgrades the IBM PC XT from a maximum of 256K RAM to 512. Now this is really crucial, especially when you want to run more modern games, and by that I mean games that were released in the late 80s. Because there's not really a whole lot that you'd want to run on a PC that doesn't require more than 256K after you've loaded DOS. So, yeah. Alright, let me get this put back together and I'll come back. So, without further ado, let's get this thing turned on. Now, one characteristic of all IBM PCs, PC XTs, and even the PC AT, they came with this gigantic orange switch in the very back. And even a lot of the clones of the IBM PC emulated this device. So, it's a very characteristic of the style of early 80s computers. Now, I've already done a boot up and game video on this particular machine, but I might as well go over exactly what it's doing right here. You can hardly see the numbers. You can see it's counting up the kilobytes quite slowly, and that's the only thing displayed on screen. Hold my breath there, and as it passed 256Ks, that means it's actually counting the RAM that came with the machine. Sorry, it's actually counting the RAM that's on the expansion card. And if it stopped right there, I'd probably scream at it and open it up and refit the card, because these things can be right finicky to work with. Alright, so now it's booted into DOS. I've got DOS, what have I got for DOS on here? I think it's DOS 6. Yeah. One thing that the IBM PC XT came with that's exactly the same as the original IBM PC XT PC is that it came with the exact same keyboard. It came with the big, heavy, clacky key and everything keyboard. The only difference with mine is that one of the tabs is broken on the bottom, so the elevation thing doesn't work. But given how rare these keyboards are nowadays, beggars can't be choosers. So, one cool thing about this keyboard is, well, I guess it's not really that cool, it wasn't back then, but in order to do typing, you can, just listen to that. You can hear how loud the clacky of the keyboard is. While it's a characteristic sound of the IBM PC, IBM PC XT, and even some of its derivatives, a lot of keyboards these days are much softer and much less noisy. Just because picture an entire office filled with about dozens of these computers all clacking away, and just how noisy that would be. The original reason why they made them so noisy in the first place is they wanted IBM previously, before they did computers, they did business systems. After all, their name is IBM International Business Machines. First things that they did were along the lines of typewriters and various types of business machines before actually getting into computers and becoming famous for them. To maintain the feel of an actual typewriter, they kept the clacky sound in the keyboard so people know that they've hit the key. Unfortunately, that was one of the more annoying things about the system. Some people like it though. I find it a little distracting. So now that I've got this thing booted up, let's take a look at some of the things that it can do. One thing I showed in my other video is, oh, not mine, monkey. It can play certain types of games. In this case here, I've got Monkey Island installed. It's Secret of Monkey Island. So let's try running it. And I'll warn you, it takes a while for it to start. While I'm waiting for that to pop up, I'm going to grab the original box here. Because in order to get into the game, I'm going to need the code wheel. And of course, Secret of Monkey Island came on both, let's see, got the floppies here. This is actually my fiance's game. It's awesome that she has it. Oh, wait. Slow. Very slow. Just think about your normal PC, your normal DOS PC, if you're a retro gamer. Just how fast Monkey Island loads up. And this one, it's still processing it. And also keep in mind just how much slower this machine is compared to those machines. It's amazing at all that it can even run the game. But IBM PC XT is about the minimum requirement for this particular game. As I was saying, oh wait, before we begin, let's have a quick history quiz. Press enter to continue. Alright, I'll play. Wait for it. Wait for it. Oh. Dude, the sword through the head and the guy with the earring. So that one on the top. So that dude. So where was he hung in Antigua? Antigua. I don't think I typed in right. Oh. There we go. Anyway, finish what I was saying. Secret of Monkey Island originally came on both 5 1/4s and on 3 1/2s. And supports monochrome graphics. Hercules graphics. Boy, this loads slow. Of all the games that got on here, I think it's the slowest loading. Deep in the Caribbean. And you can hear the PC speaker chime in. Alright, let's quit here because it's just going to take forever to get into the game. Cut that. There we go. I always thought that music was cool. I think I first played this when I was in grade 3 or something. And that's Where in Time is Carmen Sandiego running in the original Hercules graphics mode, which many games at the time supported. That was a little blurry. Somewhere in San Francisco. Ooh, it could be in the elevator. And of course I got the mouse working on here, although it's really kind of lousy. Alright, well, how would we do it this way? Keyboard mode. Yay. Alright, I get it. Unless it'll actually work for me. Nope. Okay, so apparently hitting tab does it that way. I'm used to using the mouse. Let's go to lounge. It's my favorite part of the game. I think I spent more time in the lab in the lounge than I did anywhere else. Maybe that's why I became a coffee drinker. Oh. Uh-oh. Hope you catch crooks better than you catch cups. Well, fuck you too. Please be sure you're using US coins. All I have is a loonie. God. Alright. Let's go up to the lab. Boom. Wow, that's what I call coffee. It's all about the coffee in this game, isn't it? Jeez. Alright. Alright, let's try running another game. Leisure Suit Larry. You can't really see that too well. Alright, Leisure Suit Larry 3. Which is Passionate Patty in Pursuit of the Pulsating Pectorals. Boobs. Alright. Another one that came on 512K discs. It says 8 megahertz or faster, but I've actually got enough to run on here, so whatever. I think it runs a little bit better than Monkey Island. Ugh. Good beer. Stop. Oh, great. He's going to ask me questions. I don't think I forgot about Leisure Suit Larry. Hello, my name is Larry Laffer. Warning, this game contains material which may be deemed offensive by some players. If you are offended by adult situations, vulgar language, ethnic humor, sexual innuendo, or pixelated nudity, you will be happier playing another game. Thank you. Blush. Oops, I don't want to play no dirty computer games. I'm gonna go watch PBS. Oh, go ahead, trying to offend me. Reality check. What is your age? Of course, at the time this game was released, I wasn't that age. And I think it says something like, yeah, right. To prove you're at least 25 years old, just answer 5 simple questions. The only problem I have with this particular type of access prevention is that these questions are from, you know, before you were born, and they still are. Lizzie Borden gave her mother a poem as lovely as a tree, a cherry that had no stone, gray hair and 40 wax. I'm gonna say C. Wrong. This game may be short. The 5 Marx brothers are Groucho, Harpo, and Chico. Isn't it Zeppo and Gummo? Correct. Pesticide is a legal term for murder of younger sibling. A slang term for harassing of nerds. A bug killer. An oil glut is the latest tanker spill. How doctors describe cholesterol in arteries. A typical fast food meal and an overabundance of commodity in the world markets. I'm going to go D. So that's 3. A philanthropist is a humanitarian, a stamp collector, a frivolous lover, and a lasso-slinging ability of Phil Zont. A. And last, see if I get this one right. You are so bright. You got 4 out of 5 correct, therefore you get to play this game at the really filthy level. Oh boy, have fun. Alright, so that's a short, if not too long, video of the usefulness of the IBM PC XT for video games. One of the big things is that this one versus the regular PC has a hard drive built in that you could actually use for storing games, and of course you don't have to find any floppy disks, which floppy disks in general have poor reliability over the years. And really, a lot of newer games. I don't really have a whole lot of period accurate games that would run on this particular machine. The only ones I've got are like newer ones like Monkey Island, Leisure Suit Larry, some other stuff that I've had lying around on hard drives and diskettes for years since I started doing DOS gaming back in the 90s. Really, with the gaming circuit on PCs really didn't become popular for any kind of real gaming. I mean, they were of course useful for gaming until the dawn of the Sound Blaster, the VGA graphics card, EGA graphics, until they really started to be able to compete with your typical home computer like your VIC-20 or stuff like your Commodore 64.
What about me? What am I? Shop labor?
I'm not talking about you, Mac. Alright, you're from 96 anyway. But Apple IIs, yes, Apple IIs were really useful for that kind of thing. But those were the kind of computers that you would connect up to your normal television set, whereas this one's actually your business class. And really, that's what this kind of computer was useful for, was a business machine. And that's what IBM intended it for. And really, it's the reason why this particular machine is so important in the industry, as setting really the industry standard architecture for the original PC, for the personal computer in general. Because IBM basically was the one that said it was okay for corporate America to fall in love and use the PC. I mean, once they produced this machine, it was basically a runaway success. What happened after that is a different story. But it was really the turning point of the industry in general, and the IBM PC was responsible for that. So that's really why they're a huge collector's item. I mean, not only are all those old IBM PCs, which were largely ignored for the first 15 years of their existence. I mean, I got this thing for $5, come on. But all of them have been thrown out. I remember one job I had about 10 years ago, where I was actually tossing old IBM, was it 5160s? 5150s, the original IBM PCs, dual floppy models, into a dumpster because we were just throwing them out. They were being recycled. I don't think they were even recycling them. I think they were just throwing them in a dumpster so they go to a landfill, which is a big shame considering how much gold and steel and stuff is in these things. But it's also a great shame considering how rare these things have become. And a lot of people use them and really want them in their collections. And I've got this one in my collection. I can't be happier. I really thoroughly enjoy having this particular machine. Oh, screw it. I want to save my game. Yeah, so I love this machine, and it's great. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching this particular video. I hope I wasn't too boring in my first outing here. I probably created a video that's a little too long, but whatever. That's the review of my IBM PC XT. Hope you enjoyed watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.